Ladies and gentlemen, you read the title. We are going book hunting once again! I am so excited to do this. I come very prepared. One big problem that I have a solution for, but it's like kind of stupid that I did this. I didn't bring a book. And that's like the whole point. When you're at the box has books, you leave a book, you take a book. And I don't have a book. I identify as a Midwest princess, and I am in the home state of the original Midwest princess, Miss Chaperone. We're in Kansas City, Missouri. Oh my God. I am so excited to see what Kansas City has. I was looking at the Little Free Library app, and I have a couple of spots chosen. I do only have 30 minutes, less than, but I did bring a bunch of books to exchange. And then if I see like a little library desert, I'm just gonna add some books to it. Also, I have details of a giveaway. I'm giving away a Kindle cover for potentially an 11th generation Kindle. More details on that when I have the time. Thank you to the past Ruth for giving me space for my announcement. Okay, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. This is for anybody who has a Kindle 11th generation or has a loved one who has a Kindle 11th generation. This is the Kindle case. I got this from Notions of Habit. This is brand new, never been used once before. Even has a little film thing in here, trust me, never been used. It is not the size of my current Kindle, so I am deciding to give it away. All you have to do is be subscribed to this channel, comment below that you are interested in the Kindle case. I will have to send it to you over email, so whoever the winner is, I'm going to ask for your email so I can get your information and send it over to you. Cutest little thing. Comment down below that you want it. It takes one person. I will give it to you. Back to the journey. We're not wasting any time here. First book that absolutely is going to go. The book that I found, I think, one of the first times I started doing this, it was like a 3 out of 5. They said that this Little Free Library was in front of this restaurant called Grinder's Pizza. I think it's literally in the pizzeria. Is it even? I don't think it's open. Okay, yeah, Sunday, 11. It's like 9. Dang. Why'd I do this? Because I believed in myself. Because you believed in yourself. Yeah, it's not readily available to me, so I have to go to another one because I can't find it. I even parallel parked for this. I was committed, and now I feel like I need to be committed. This is actually so annoying because I'm here visiting family, so that's why I get to do this. But my brother's preaching in like less than 30 minutes, and so I'm annoyed that I have to find a new place. I am here, but where are we? I hate when they make me look for it, but honestly, because we're in Kansas City, I don't have the anxiety of like being the only black person in your neighborhood. Come on. I'm just an impatient fool, honestly. Okay. Please, Lord, please deliver. Oh. Okay. No, nope. But honestly, this is exciting. I can drop a book because we have kind of a desert. I'm gonna put a book in you. That sounded like a threat. This is strictly an exchanging book. I do have books that are strictly for like adding value. Where are we going? What are we doing? Let's do Sometimes I Lie. Right, psychological thriller about Amber Reynolds, a woman in a coma who narrates from her hospital bed, revealing that she can't move or speak and is aware of her surroundings, told in 3 different timelines about her accident through her childhood diary, explores themes of jealousy, toxic relationships, and betrayal, featuring an unreliable narrator and numerous plot twists. Shout out to the lucky thriller reader who gets this one. I'm parked like very illegally. So, we're back on the saddle. The only problem is that the weather outside is in fact frightful. It's just gonna get worse, so I'm just gonna try to see how many I can go to before things get like dangerously cold or annoying. We have pulled up in front of this place called De La Salle. I don't know. This education center that has a little free library inside it. I doubt it's gonna be open. It's Sunday, but I mean, education centers, like, if they operate like churches, maybe they'll be open in it. What's an education center? I don't even know. Oh my God. Does anybody walk up these steps ever? This has been closed for like 50 years, has it not? Come on. I am generally pretty envious of anybody who gets to live in a city because I feel like life is happening in cities. But the one thing I do not envy is the parking experience y'all got to go through. Oh my God. I don't want to have to potentially parallel park anywhere, much less have to do it multiple times in a day. It's not really that hard, but it is stressful, and I don't want my parking experience to be stressful. Anyway, let's get our book again, see what's up.
It's so cute.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well. Okay. A Quiet Year of Plums. I'm okay. No, I have to give it a shot. It's the only thing I can give a shot. No, we're not giving up. On to the next.
Oh my God. We hit a nice neighborhood with like just beautiful houses, open streets because they have driveways because they can afford a driveway. Imagine affording a driveway in a major city, like a nice one. Okay, there's our culprit.
Like, how beautiful is this house? Look at these houses. Yeah, no, I don't even have to open it, I don't think. Except for Think and Grow Rich. Brother,
We got nothing. We got nothing.
but I saw some beautiful houses. On to the next one. Okay. I want to cry actually saying that.
I actually do want to add one more exciting James Patterson book to this because I know if I was just going to say, I know if I was in my 20s and looking for a book, I wouldn't take one. I'm in my 20s and I'm looking for a book. If I was in my 20s looking, if I was somebody else, I would want to pick up a book that's more interesting than the others, and I think this one would be a good addition.
So James Patterson, famous mystery writer. Someone is killing hero cops all over San Francisco. These murders are done by professionals. All the victims have the same warning scrawled on their bodies. You talk, you die. Will Lindsay Boxer be or maybe someone she loves like her husband Joe? It all comes down to 22 seconds. Ah! I'm jealous of whoever the heck stops by this and actually does get to take it. I feel just a little better about myself, just a little, now that I'm contributing. Like, being a contributor feels nice. We have two books left to give away, and then our trusty one that we have yet to swap, even though we've been to like 1 million. We've only been to like 3.
On to the next.
Oh my God. Wow.
There we are.
Okay, this one actually has some books in it, but you never know. Here we are. Oh, yuck. Oh my God. Demigod, Nico, D'Angelo, and Will Solis must endure the terrors of TARDIS. Author of the Percy Jackson series, co-signed this one. Okay. This year, best friend Sophie and Agatha are about to discover where all the lost children go. Oh, the fabled school for... Oh, it's a Netflix film. Okay. I'm like really tempted, honestly, just to consider it because I have not picked up a single one. Let's see the other ones. There's another one in the back. Ew, what the fuck? Pope Francis, what are you doing here? God is young. Wait, what? The Trail of Lonesome... Oh no, it's so gross though. Stop. Ew. Okay, I'm not taking a book that looks like that. I would consider it if it was clean. Ooh, Addie's visiting Ireland for her aunt's over-the-top destination wedding and hoping she can stop thinking about the one horrible thing. Whoa. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Okay. This is cute. Love and Luck. Okay. I'm not married to this, but I like it enough to give it a try, and I think romance could be fun. We are switching out this for this. Woo! Okay. I was on my way to the other little free library, and I stopped in front of this elementary shout-out Troost. And I saw an Emily Henry book, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely parked very illegally, so I need to run. What is this? What? Oh! Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Oh, this is like number 4 in a series. Okay. So I can't. Happy please! What? Queen of Secret? Who? These are some well-read elementary school students.
Okay, what is this about? Elizabeth, Joyce, and Ron. Okay. The Thursday Murder Club, like the series on Netflix, are still riding off the high of their most recent. Okay, so this is like a second or something in a series. I'm not even gonna lie, I probably knew from the beginning it was gonna be this one. Ah! We've got a pick! Ah! Okay, I gotta come back up and leave a book. Oh my god, that was so fun. I've only ever read Funny Story by Emily, and I liked it, despite thinking it was going to be a little bit too corny for me, because romance and fantasy tend to sometimes drift into like very young adult, very like child driven. But I've heard a lot of good things about this from like everyone with every sort of a taste. So we'll see. Swapping this and that. Oh my god, a Be Kind library. That's BLM. That's so cute and so sweet. It looks like it's mostly children's. So I don't know, I might just leave it, but I don't know. Okay, there's one adult book here. Ooh. At the age of 14, Lakshima leaves behind her childhood among the mango trees of Ceylon for a married life across the ocean in Malaysia. Ooh, and soon finds herself struggling to raise a family in the country that it is, by turns unyielding and amazing, brutal and beautiful, giving birth to a child every year until she is 19. Becomes a formidable matriarch, determined to secure a better life for her daughters and sons. Oh my god. Dreaming. We have a run for our money. Oh my god. Okay, I gotta sit in the car and like think about this. Here's the thing. I am a killer for stories of grief. This seems to have a lot of grief. I also really like introspection and social commentary, and I feel like this might really hit. This looks like my other 5 stars. You know what I mean? But it's so hard to combat a tried and true, very popular book. It's so hard. I gotta think about it for like 2 seconds. No, I don't know. Okay, I'm going more with what is in my taste, and I have the book. There we are. Thank you for serving me well. This started out very rough, and things I can finally say on to the next without wanting to cry. Woo! Okay, Brown Girl Dreaming. The first one that's standing out to me. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, this is a poetry book, and ooh, I would rather read the other one than to read a poetry book right now. Okay, this looks a little intense. No. Thank you. And with that, day 1 of the book hunt ends. I will either return to this tomorrow or the day after to go to my town and look for books. We have, why is the door open? We have made it back to the place where I unfortunately dwell. We're gonna go to my local free little libraries and then maybe do some errands and get some treats along the way, but ultimately what we are hoping to find by the end of the day is our coveted 5-star. It's been done before, can we do it again? Okay, for a minute I was looking for my wallet just to make sure I was like driving with a license. Here we are. Beautiful, beautiful. Lord, just look at this. The Hate You, okay. The Hate You Give, it was on sale for $2. Wow, that's crazy. The hate you give little children turns them into thugs, which is like the whole thing of this book. Oh my god, okay. Since I was a teenager in 2016, I definitely saw this movie, and I think the book is going to be phenomenal. But is it going to top the book that I already have? We'll see. Okay, there's so many good books right here to sift through. Okay,
I thought the second one was gonna be like of caliber. It's I don't know what this is. It looks like a Christian mom book club pick. What We Find by Robin Carr. I'm sorry to Robin. Yep, I'm sorry, girl. Between the urban bustle of Denver and the high-stress environment of a career in neurosurgery, Maggie Sullivan has hit a wall when an emergency high-risk procedure results in the death of a teenager. Shoot. Maggie finds herself in the middle of a lawsuit. This is the woman who wrote Virgin River. Are we kidding? Of course. That's where I know this name from. There's a lot going on here that I don't really feel like I am invested in, even though it still seems like it has a lot of value. Woo! Okay. You guys. This makes me want to be a third grader again. This girl shaped like half of my personality in a very real way. Shout out to you, Barbara Park. I love this woman. Leanne Moriarty. And I have not read this book, The Husband's Secret. This might be it. Listen to this one. Imagine your husband wrote you a letter to be opened after his death. Imagine, too, the letter contains his deepest, darkest secrets, something with the potential to destroy not only the life you have built together, but the lives of others, too. And imagine that you stumble across that letter while your husband is very much alive. Oh my God. Cecilia Fitzpatrick has achieved it all. She's an incredibly successful businesswoman, a pillar in her small community, a devoted wife, and a mother. Her life is orderly and spotless as her orderly and spotless as her home. But this letter is about to change everything, not just for her. Oh my God, there are other women who barely know Cecilia, but they too are about to feel the earth-shattering repercussions of her husband's secret. This is going to be very heavy. And I just think that I have to do this justice and follow my excitement. I'm a lot more excited about this than this, but I was still very excited about this. Dang it, dude. Okay. Hopefully somebody else will be able to find what they need. This one, oh my God, it's gonna be very hard to top this one. We'll see though. We have a Carly Fortune book. That one thing I do notice about Carly Fortune books is that the covers never miss. Fern Banks wasted too much time of her adult life thinking about Will Baxter. She just spent 24 hours in her early 20s with the aggregatingly attractive and idealistic artist. At 32, Fern's life doesn't look at all like she would imagine. This seems like a second chance romance, and I'm gonna be honest, I will have to do a soft no right now. But we do have to give all their books their due diligence, because that's what they deserve. The Jet Setters. When 17-year-old Charlotte Perkins submits a sexy essay to become a jet setter contest, she dreams of reuniting her estranged children. Wow, I can't read. I really said 17 and she's 70. So I was like, children, estranged. This is a mother who hopes to rekindle her estranged children. And it's not as exciting as the Leanne Moriarty book, which I am glad to be taking. Oh my God. Okay. Before we go, which one would you pick? Let me know. So many good picks here. So many good picks. Okay. Ah! Oh my God, I'm so excited. It took us a couple of days, but we have finished and we are not that disappointed. For finding a book in a box, this was a great book. And I do recommend, before we even get into anything, I do recommend this if you are a thriller reader, if you like Leanne Moriarty's stuff. I do think this is a good one to know about, but let's get into my thoughts about this. So I have spoiler-free thoughts, and then I'm going to have some spoiled thoughts at the end. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant because like some of these things I was thinking like, what the heck is this? We'll get into spoiler free first thing. I love Leanne Moriarty because every book she comes out with, the plot is going to be interesting enough to pull you in and be consistently strong from beginning, middle to end. There are a lot of thriller writers where it's like, oh my gosh, this plot is crazy, but it was just like the idea was crazy, but the execution is just not as strong, not as flavorful. It's like, okay, that was a cool idea, but clearly this is just made because it was a cool idea. This story has multiple points of view, so it's mainly around three women, although it is centered around Cecilia Fitzpatrick, who is the keeper of her husband's secret. It also centers around a woman named Tess O'Leary, who we get introduced to because we see a scene of her husband telling her that he has fallen in love with his cousin. Don't you hate when that happens? Oh my god. She essentially kind of flees where she is in her suburbs of Australia and then goes to live with her mom, which is her hometown, which is where Cecilia Fitzpatrick lives. So we all kind of get all interconnected and get into the community of everything. The strongest community member, Rachel Crowley. Rachel Crowley is a staple of this city, this society, this story, because she is like where the intrigue of this story comes from. Rachel Crowley, her teenage daughter died a couple of decades ago. I think it was like 18 years ago in this town where it is set at. And for every day since her daughter had died, she had been wanting to get answers and solve the unsolved homicide because her daughter died due to strangulation. But her hope was never lost, although it is hard to know when does hope become delusion. I'll say the strong points of this book are that this was incredibly thrilling and engaging. Like when they talk about a page turner, my god. This also has very funny female rage. There are so many things about like being a wife, being a mother, being a loved one of a homicide victim, to where it's all valid, real things that could be taken in an emotional way. But Leanne, and I think it's also like an Aussie, like sarcastic, self deprecating thing to turn something very painful into like a joke and to have a crack at like a comedic side of it. I don't know if that's generalizing, but I feel like I have been noticing that. I thought it was funny and it was appreciated from me. And then also she has incredible insight, and I feel like the insight highlights the social commentary of this. I'd say a big con to this story that was kind of annoying to read about, that was distracting, and it is of its time because this was written in 2013, is just the early 2000s like fat phobia, like commentary. The husband leaves his wife Tess for the cousin, and it's like very much made a point to be like her cousin, they were best friends forever. She lost a lot of weight, was obese, no longer obese, is now like the most beautiful person you've ever seen. And then her husband and her just end up falling in love. And Tess keeps going on and on about how like this would never happen before because she was so big. This would never happen before because she was just fat. Like, did you always have a thing for my husband? Because he never had a thing for you until now because you're beautiful. You used to be a big fat like it like it was relentless, and it wasn't even funny. Like it was just kind of like, okay, we get it. If this book was written in 2026, it would look very different. Another con is that the ending was not as satisfying as the lead up to it was. Like, I was so waiting for this one reaction that just did straight up not happen. And when I go into like the spoiled rant, I'll talk about that a little bit more, but it just wasn't as satisfying. It was still good, but it was kind of like all the moments of rage leading up to just calm. What? I give this book a 3.75 out of 5 stars. I did not get my 5 star, but I got a pretty good book that I marked up and I really liked. I do recommend this, but beware of the fat phobia. Beware of just this being set in 2013. Okay, we're going into our spoiled thoughts. Okay, we are on the dark side of the spoiled thoughts now. Leave now if you don't want to be spoiled. I warned you. the unsatisfactory ending. We're just going to talk about this straight up incredibly explicitly. So, Cecilia Fitzpatrick is married to John Paul Fitzpatrick. The secret is that Rachel found out from a letter that John Paul admitted to murdering Rachel Crawley's daughter back in the day because John Paul, Cecilia's husband, was dating Rachel Crowley's daughter, and her name is Janie. Secretly dating, kind of like just seeing each other, didn't make it things official. Right as they were talking, she rejects him and is like, hey, I am in love with this boy named Connor. And he gets so mad that he strangles her. She has like a panic attack, has like some sort of condition that causes her to go into shock and just die. So she didn't die from strangulation. She straight up died from just like the just like another thing. You're finding this out. You're finding out along with Cecilia Fitzpatrick all of the feelings that she has towards her husband, being like, I didn't know that I could marry a murderer. He seemed so nice. He seemed so all of these things. You know, you're going through the gamut with her. And at the very end, they decide to tell Rachel Crawley's character, the mom of the murder victim, that it was him. It was John Paul. Because Cecilia's feeling bad because her daughter at the very end got hit by a car. Got hit by Rachel's car. And I guess to make things like even or something, she's just like, my husband murdered your daughter. And I was waiting for like a world of just disgust, rage, everything to just come down on John Paul, the person who murdered the daughter, because he like strangled her because he said, your daughter was laughing at me. I'm sorry that she died, but I couldn't take the rejection. I'm not even kidding when I say he was upset because she laughed at him. Also, she laughed out of like nervousness. She didn't even want to reject him. She just thought that he was too good for her and was like, I'm just gonna save you the whatever the heck and just tell you like, I know I'm gonna go for the easier guy because you're too good for me. And then when he was like, wait, what the heck? And she started just like giggling because she was nervous. And then he strangled her. And then he strangled her. Rachel has been spending the past like 18 years obsessing over thinking this guy, Connor, who is Tess's temporary love interest, had killed her daughter for 18 years, thinking Connor has killed she literally, the reason that she hit Cecilia's daughter is because she was wanting to hit Connor, the person who she thought had murdered her child. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, my husband murdered your daughter. And like for like less than a minute she recognizes what that means, but then she's like, yeah, but I guess I just hit your daughter. So go spend time with your daughter. I'm not gonna take away their dad. Go spend time with your daughter, literally. And I guess it is a little bit up to the reader to decide like how much would you actively forgive somebody who murdered your daughter if you hit their daughter with your car, I guess. It was insane. I was just waiting because she really hated this guy who she thought murdered him. And so I was just waiting for all that hatred to just come out somehow. Somehow. And it was just annoying. It was just annoying. She had so much hatred, and then all of a sudden it just kind of dissipated because of the guilt. But was it because of the guilt? Because we really didn't get that like explicitly laid out. But not everything has to be explicitly laid out, you know, like don't treat the reader like they're dumb. And I feel like no, you can kind of treat me like I don't understand because I don't fully. That and like Tess's affair with Connor was kind of silly because she said she was feeling a little bit guilty about how like, oh, it was so easy for me to hook up with Connor. It was so easy for me to do all of these things behind my husband's back. And then she just makes up with her husband, even though her husband was straight up gonna leave her for her cousin. And then all of a sudden her and her cousin are just cool. Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever time of day it is. I hope you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or night.